Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Linn, and I hope you're well, and if you're not, I hope you are well soon. And so I was having a little bit of trouble going to sleep last night, actually, and I kept thinking about what kind of video that I wanted to make. Because I've been thinking about doing topics again, rather than just readings or energy updates of whatever may be going on in the cosmos, in the world. And I kept getting this message last night, or technically this morning, because it was like 2 or 3 a.m. and I couldn't sleep. The message was that what may work for someone else may not work for you, and that makes sense logically, right? But in the landscape and in the world that we live in, especially with the internet and the corporate world that exists out there, and the systems in place for people, it's easy to get lost in the social mush, I guess you could say, of what is expected, the social and cultural expectations of people that are common and generally agreed upon, whether verbally or non-verbally, right? When people socialize, they tend to pick up on specific social cues, whatever, and then there's just, I guess, a non-verbal and verbal language of how to move through different societies. But the issue with this sometimes, though it can be adaptable and definitely is necessary, I feel like, for humans and people to relate and to bond and to survive, even at the point we're coming to, at least in the society that I live in, is that when you get stuck in that social mush, as I am calling it right now, you tend to lose the parts of yourself that make you unique, that actually make you stand out naturally because of who you are naturally. The social landscape is made in such a way that it may not leave room for individual expression sometimes. I know that from my experience being in corporate jobs, that definitely was the case. Everybody had to dress a specific way to portray the brand, or had to smile to seem happy and warm, or whatever. I don't know. Very interesting things, right? It's because there's specific social things that are, I guess, accepted and agreed upon, but I feel that sometimes that can take away from authenticity of people and who people truly are. Because when you go into a space like that and you're expected to act a very specific way, that can dampen down your individuality and your authentic expression in ways that actually can be not really beneficial to the world, in my opinion. I feel we need individuality and we need authenticity in order for the social landscape to be more diverse and more interesting and more productive. Because if you are only inserting yourself into a predetermined, preconceived system, what are you doing there? Like, you're just meshing into it. You're not helping it transform or evolve, or making it bringing that zhuzh to it. That's my opinion, right? The corporate world, to me specifically, doesn't really make sense, and that is just how my brain sees it and how it works for me. But I will say that I think it's extremely important for us. That was a very long-winded way of saying that it's important to embrace the parts of yourself that are not part of what the corporate or the social cultural norm pushes forward as the best or as the right way to be. I find that very suffocating and very limiting for individuals and for whole cultures, honestly, whole societies, whole communities. So yeah, the importance of embracing your individuality in a way that, you know, being cognizant of how you are around other people, but not losing that spark, those things that really make you you at the core of it. Yeah. So I find, okay, this is half of a topic video and a reading in itself, but essentially, so I have the Star, and I have the Hanged Man, as well as the Ten of Wands. Yeah, so Ten of Wands, Hanged Man, the Star. I guess I can hold them up for those of you who like visuals. But essentially, unless it feels better this way. So it's interesting because the Ten of Wands is usually about carrying some sort of burden. And in my mind, it feels as if maybe you are starting to lay down that burden of presenting a specific way to fit into a society that many times does not value individuality and authenticity. It's more of you're seeing the aspects of how these systems are built and how these understandings socially are actually not very helpful, and pushing against them by accepting your own individuality more fully, more deeply. And it's really allowing you to take a step back to see how you have been burdening yourself by keeping yourself small and filtering the way that you naturally express yourself to the world. And this makes you, when you start authentically expressing yourself, right? This is the whole system. It's very like black and white, very dreary. But when you are authentically being yourself, your light and your colors, your unique colors and light shine through. And you become a beacon for yourself and other people to be themselves, to be in that rather than suppress it or filter it. And many times, again, in these social, like these social, whatever that means, these social landscapes, we have to suppress ourselves to be safe sometimes, right? Because if you go into a specific environment and you do something that is extremely socially unacceptable in that landscape, there is filtering that is required. But the issue is if you are doing that all the time, even when you are by yourself, you are doing yourself a huge disservice, as well as the world. Very, very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. I'm also getting that perhaps more recently you have been a bit more, as well as accepting yourself on a more individual level, in a more expressive realm, allowing yourself to shed those masks that you have put on to feel safe, because the normal, regular you was not always acceptable, was not the norm, right? Whatever the norm is, because it differs depending on where you live. And literally, it's so, the thing about normalcy is I don't think it really exists. I'll be completely real. I don't think that normal truly exists. I think it is changeable. I think it is variable. I think it is a spectrum, if I'm being honest, of what is normal and not normal. It's, these things are agreed upon, right? Okay, so say you're in, I don't know, let's go to the corporate world, because corporate is such a funny place to me. It doesn't make sense. think of the corporate world, right? Like everybody's all dressed up in these nice, neat business suits and whatever, and it's quiet and everybody's all serious and like very like, This is just an example. I'm not saying everybody's like that in the corporate world, but a lot of people are. And they're like, oh, I have to be this way so that I can give the impression that I'm super professional and I have authority, right? It's kind of funny. But anyway, it's like, if you go into that space and you're like, hey guys, like what's going on? And you're still doing your job, but you're like very like expressive and like kind of like not acting as serious, those people might perceive you as like, what the hell are you doing? Like, this is not what we do. This is not the social landscape, right? So I find that quite funny. That's a thing that we do as humans. And I also think that sometimes it can be a little bit funny to act like that in a space like that, because it almost shows people and shows yourself how ridiculous sometimes these social performances, that's how I would explain it, social performances are. Putting on a mask to portray a version of yourself that you aren't even, that you don't even exist as. Wow. So I feel like maybe you are allowing yourself to do this in more spaces, in more places that you go, more naturally, to let the natural side of you kind of come out more, to unfilter yourself as much. And that's a beautiful thing, right? That's a beautiful thing. Oh, this is really pretty. This is really cool. Let me show you guys this real quick. If I can get it up. If I can pick it up with my finger. Okay, so butterfly spirit transformation, and then bee spirit prosperity. So what's cool about this is I think that as you've been transforming and being more authentic with that expression of yourself, you are also easier able to filter out what you don't want in your life, career-wise, relationship-wise, any area. Could even be habits, like things that you don't actually want to do anymore. Or maybe accepting that it's okay to have certain interests or habits as long as you can be in it and explore those things in a healthy manner that honors your body and your mind and your heart and all of the needs that you do have, while still allowing you to enjoy these things, right? So perhaps that is also leading you to more abundance in an easier manner. No. Yeah, in an easier, it's actually allowing you to bring abundance to your life quite easily, because you're more clear about who you are and what you want, and that energetically is allowing those things to flow to you easier. You're meeting the universe with authenticity, so the universe is able to meet you back with that. That's very cool. Wow. That's very cool. I really like that. Yeah, that's really beautiful. So I'm also gonna pull a couple more cards just because I'm feeling the urge right now. I'm feeling the urge. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, one more. Yeah, this one was coming out. I saw it like 3 times when I was shuffling, so we're gonna take that. So we've got the 7 of Swords, Temperance, and the Magician, right? Oh, so amazing. So, firstly, the 7 of Swords here. Quite interesting to me, because that's around deception, that's around illusion. But, ooh. Okay, so maybe, again, this is kind of what I was saying. Maybe you're realizing that the things that society deems to be delusional or an illusion or something that is not acceptable, you are seeing that these things actually are acceptable when balanced And when, I don't know if you heard that, that was my cat. She went, very cute though. But yeah, so it's like you're seeing, okay, the things that society maybe has taught me is like not such a good thing, or maybe my own mind was telling me that I can't do, I can't enjoy, I can't be a part of, I can't give time to maybe a hobby or an interest that I have, or I can't do multiple things, I can't be multidimensional, because that's such an illusion, right? But I think you're realizing that when in balance, in a way that is, again, honoring of your whole being, every part of you, you're more authentic, and you're able to manifest a lot easier in your life, and you're able to feel more whole, to feel more, what's the word, exuberant, enthusiastic about life and your path and where you're going, and even just everyday life, having a sense of wonder, of awe, of passion, of excitement, and mastery. You're able to master things because you've let go of the expectations around what you are doing or not doing. And you started focusing on balancing how these things feel to you on an individual, unique level, how it integrates into your life, how it feels for you. Again, oh, this is what I started with. This is so cool. Again, what may work for some people may not work for you. Full circle right there in this message. So again, the way that people do things, the things that people do, may not work for you. And in order to figure out what works for you, experimentation is great. And again, not taking others' expectations of what you are doing or not doing at face value, because often, not even often, pretty much almost all the time, these expectations, nobody can even live up to. Let's think about that for a minute. A lot of social expectations and cultural expectations are not even feasible for the normal human, or for certain humans. So again, if you want to think about, because this is something that I've been actually researching a little bit more recently, is neurodivergence and neurotypical brains. So in my view, as I've been researching this, it becomes apparent to me that people's brains are just wired differently. And that means that the way that they process and experience and have a presence in the world is different. But I also want you to consider that this is also the case human to human in general. In terms of your brain structure, in terms of the way you function in the world, in terms of your culture, your social circles, your individual makeup in every sense, genetic, environmental, energetic, all of these things are individual. And so your path, the way that you interpret the world, the way that you move through the world, is extremely unique. There are similarities between you and others, of course. We are all humans. We exist in the same plane, we exist in the same world, so we have differences and similarities. But again, you're breaking this illusion. You're sitting back and seeing how there's illusions around what is right and what is wrong. That's it's just defined. Nothing is right or wrong in theory. Especially when it comes to how you live your life. As long as you're not hurting anyone or yourself, you should be able to essentially do whatever you want, right? Essentially. In theory. So, I also remember seeing this comment, where I've seen like videos of like people, they put like the caption, things I realized that I can do as an adult And so there was one I saw where it was like this guy and he was like walking down like this trail or whatever, this man-made trail, and then he just like stood there for a second and then looked around and was like, wait, I can just walk off the path if I want. Like, it's like when people remember they have free will, it's really funny. And I just saw 2002 on the clock, if that's a synchronicity for someone. But I was just like, wait, that actually very much relates to this message too. It's like you're walking around going day to day in a social landscape that was pre-made, preconceived, and you're just fitting into it and you are contributing to it, but you don't have full control over it because you're an individual. But like, and then you just look around and you're like, wait a minute. All these ideas and expectations that I'm living by when I'm alone, I don't even need to be in that. I'm not even around anyone right now. Why am I filtering the way that I'm speaking right now? Why am I filtering the way that I'm thinking right now when I'm not even in that social landscape right now? You see what I'm saying? It's like allowing yourself to be in your individual free will and how that naturally expresses itself within you without outside interference. Of course, things are outside of us will influence us. Of course, that's normal. That's a human thing, once again. But how can you allow yourself the space to be influenced by your external and your internal as who you truly are? That's fascinating. So, yeah, I think that's the message today. That's the message today. Again, Nick, you know your truth. Very cool, because I also saw this video of a crow talking to this woman. It was her pet crow. Like, I guess she raised the crow. I don't know. She got the crow. I don't know how she got the crow, but it was basically her pet. And the crow would essentially mimic the words that she was saying, and learn different phrases and practice it with itself. And it was so cute. So again, like, maybe for that woman, right? Like, she enjoyed being around birds. She had an interest in birds and in crows specifically, and she wanted to post content. This is what I'm saying. Every person has their own niche and their own interest and their own way that they would like to live their life. And if you can authentically be in that and offer that to the world, that's all you have to do. You don't even have to do that. That's up to you, but it's like, you're authentically expressing yourself. This lady, she's like, oh, I love crows. I'm going to post a video with me and my crow. And people enjoy that. Like, when you are you, authentically, what you offer will be enjoyed by other people. Because there are other people out there who enjoy exactly what you offer and what you give and just who you are. So that's something to think about as well. Yeah, so I hope this message was helpful, and yeah, I hope you're well, and if you're not, I hope you're well soon, and I will see you all in the next video.